Fox News Alert, Speaker Mike Johnson is now speaking live at the House as the House has passed the funding bill. He's live on Capitol Hill now. Let's dip in. He's taking questions.
Do you really think that they can work out something in such a short time period? That's not much time.
I do. I mean, if everyone comes to the table in good faith, I'll tell you what we are not going to do. We're not going to work towards some sort of amnesty program or something. Some Democrats have whispered that that's what they would be about. We are not going to impede the enforcement of federal immigration law. We can't do that. We have to apprehend these dangerous criminals. We have convicted murderers and rapists and child molesters in cities across America, and we have Immigrations and Customs Enforcement for a reason. These agents, these officers are doing heroic work trying to keep our communities safe, and it's unconscionable to us that you would have Democrat mayors and governors trying to impede that work, encouraging their citizens to get in the way, and that's what's created these dangerous environments.
It's realistic to work that out. How can you do that parliamentarily? How can you do that politically?
Well, it's up to the will of the people in the building, and I hope that they'll come forward again in good faith to work this out. Listen, they made a list of requests or demands last week. Leader Schumer made that public. And I will tell you that Tom Homan is in charge in Minnesota now, and he's already bringing about many of those changes. They are wanting to make sure that immigration enforcement is done safely and smartly and efficiently, and that's what you're going to get. It's going to be balanced. It's going to be a balanced approach. Of the demands that were made, the requests that were made, many of those are already being implemented. You notice that that they're going to have the body cameras. We put $20 million additional dollars in this legislation that they're holding up right now to pay for more body cameras. But Secretary Noem came out yesterday, as you saw, and announced that this would be the new policy. These are good things. The roving patrols will be modified. There are a lot of things that I think were thoughtful suggestions that would have already been implemented by Mr. Homan and others who are in charge of all this. And so I think we can get to an agreement. I certainly hope that's true. And if they have any intention of trying to keep these other agencies of government closed, it will be a fool's errand. And remember, we did front load the funding for Immigrations Customs Enforcement and CBP in the big, beautiful bill. So they have enough funding to go for the next few years. So what they will be tying up if the Democrats choose to close the government is these very essential services for everything else: FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, and other aspects of national security. So it's a very dangerous game that they're playing. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Speaker.
Will Republican members in the House support those changes, and do they need assurances like the SAVE Act attached to it?
Well, look, we are going to be fighting for the SAVE Act, and I'll tell you why this is so important. We've passed it twice in the House, and we will pass it again. The SAVE Act just simply says you have to have verification of citizenship to register to vote. That's about a 90-10 issue on many of the polls in this country, and we are going to enhance it by what the president calls the Save America Act. And so it would be proof of citizenship to register to vote and voter ID, which is also about an 80 or 90% issue on the polling nationwide, depending on who you talk to. These are very important things to ensure that our elections are free and fair and safe. And that's a critical component of maintaining a constitutional republic. So this is a big priority for not just House Republicans, but for the American people. And we will continue to attach this to legislation and send it over. And it will be part of the discussion over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see how that shakes out. But I suspect that some of the changes, the procedural modifications with ICE, Immigrations Customs Enforcement, will be codified. I mean, they've said that they're willing to do some of this, and so we'll see how it comes out. I don't think we'll have to get rid of the filibuster to get these things done, and that's certainly our hope. Yes, ma'am.
To be clear, are you going to attach the SAVE Act to future DHS funding?
I'm not going to tell you in advance how those negotiations will go. There's a lot of discussions to be held, but I will tell you what I'm saying to you is that House Republicans have already passed the SAVE Act twice. We did it in the last Congress, did it in this Congress. We will continue to try to advance that because we believe that is critically important to the American people and to our election system.
Just a quick follow-up on elections. The president says that he wants Republicans to nationalize elections. Do you agree with him? And do you have confidence in how elections are conducted right now, heading into the midterm?
We have thoughtful debate about our election system every election cycle and sometimes in between. We know it's in our system. The states have been in charge of administering their elections. What you're hearing from the president is his frustration about the lack of some of the blue states, frankly, of enforcing these things and
We're
making
going to
sure that
continue
they
monitoring
are
the Speaker of the
free and fair
House there live on
elections.
Capitol Hill
We
and jump
need
over to the
constant
Majority Leader in the Senate. John Thune is now speaking. Let's listen here.
A filibuster to try to outlast the Democratic minority under current rules. Do you have any expectation that you can succeed with that, given the enormous difficulty of doing that? In fact, the previous majority has not been able to.
Right. Well, you know, I guess, and I would just remind people that the coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it, and we have a lot of things we have to do. There's a housing bill that's awaiting action, hopefully a market structure bill, possibly permitting reform, farm bill, highway bill. You can go right down the list. Russia sanctions, there are a whole bunch of things that could be teed up for action on the floor of the Senate. And so you have to make some judgments, and the conference will have a conversation about that. I've committed to that we will talk about that idea and determine whether or not what the conference's views are about it and how they want to proceed. As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time with not only unlimited debate, but also unlimited amendments.
All right, rather we had the Senate Majority Leader and the Speaker of the House speaking at the same time. That's why we're jumping back and forth. But the bill has passed funding DHS and the other agencies, and it triggers now a 10-day negotiation period over debate over ICE operations and the way that they conduct themselves, talk of body cams, which are already on their way, making sure that they identify themselves, judicial warrants, no face masks or face coverings, that sort of thing. So we'll see how all of that goes. But in terms of DHS, Sandra, we could be right back in this very same place we were at for the last 4 days as of the 13th.
About $1.2 trillion roughly is the spending package. This ends the partial government shutdown. You just heard from the Speaker of the House, then the Majority Leader in the Senate. This syncs up with the Senate. This now heads to the President's desk. So we're going to keep monitoring all these events that are happening right now live on Capitol Hill. John?
Yeah, both the Speaker and the Majority Leader talking about the SAVE Act, which is the Voter ID Act, which Republicans believe is absolutely crucial to ensuring the integrity of elections, and that Democrats are saying no way, no how over our dead bodies. So we'll see how that debate goes.
You bet.
All right. Well, also breaking today, the U.S. Navy taking out an Iranian drone. This was near the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. Here's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on America Reports last hour.
CENTCOM did make the decision to shoot down that Iranian drone. It was unmanned. It was acting aggressively towards our USS Lincoln, which we know that aircraft carrier is in the region at the direction of President Trump. As for the president, he remains committed to always pursuing diplomacy first. But in order for diplomacy to work, of course, it takes two to tango.
Senior foreign policy correspondent Jillian Turner is at the State Department. It's got the latest for us. Hi, Jillian.
Hi, John. Well, as you know, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, just a few days out now from sitting down face to face with Iranian regime officials. But those officials are acting highly erratic during the run up to these talks. Caroline was just asked a moment ago as well if they are still on track. She said the president wants to push through, get to the negotiating table. Here's that sound from her.
You need a willing partner to achieve diplomacy, and that's something that Special Envoy Witkoff is intent on exploring and discussing.
There is reporting that the State Department has not yet confirmed to us that Iran has also just now asked to move the talks on Friday from Turkey to Oman. They also want to kick out the Arab nations who are participating and negotiate one-on-one with President Trump's designated officials. Separately, John, there is also this statement from CENTCOM about what just went down. They say they shot down an Iranian drone as the unmanned aircraft aggressively approached a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier with unclear intent. An F-35C fighter jet from Abraham Lincoln shot down the Iranian drone in self-defense and to protect the aircraft carrier and personnel on board. This is a far cry from the tone that Iran's president struck overnight. He posted this on X. I've instructed my Minister of Foreign Affairs, provided that a suitable environment exists free from threats and unreasonable expectations, to pursue fair and equitable negotiations guided by the principles of dignity, prudence, and expediency. Well, we're also learning, John, as you just mentioned, that Iranian forces a short while ago harassed a U.S. commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz, and that comes just the day after U.S. CENTCOM yesterday issued a warning to Iran's regime and said, hey, make sure during the run-up to these talks, the IRGC behaves professionally. So there you have it. That's the response.
I guess they didn't get the Pezeshkian memo. We'll see how that works out for them. Jillian, thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Sandra?
New at 2, we're half past the hour. A possible biological lab inside a Las Vegas home now under investigation. A federal investigation. Agents seizing vials of unknown liquids and probing a potential link to a Chinese national accused of running a similar lab in California that held deadly pathogens. Our senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is reporting live on this out of Los Angeles for us. Hello, William.
Well, Sandra, two amazing things about this story. One, the man who owns that Vegas lab, he's a Chinese scientist linked to the CCP, is and has been in jail the last 3 years. Secondly, the lab is not an FDA licensed facility, but it's in a house in Vegas, raided Saturday morning by the FBI, SWAT pulling out boxes of what police believe are hazardous biological agents and pathogens, normally found in a secure university or industrial lab with airlocks designed to prevent an outbreak.
Almost immediately, investigators observed multiple refrigerators, a freezer, and other laboratory-type equipment, along with numerous bottles and jugs containing unknown liquid substances.
So the Vegas lab, according to police, belongs to 62-year-old Zhu Baiju, a Chinese national and a fugitive who also goes by the alias David He. He was arrested in 2023 for manufacturing unlicensed medical devices and lying about unapproved HIV and pregnancy test kits that he was selling. He also operated this illicit biolab in an abandoned warehouse in Reedley, California, where investigators found thousands of vials of blood and tissue, 1,000 genetically engineered mice designed to carry the COVID virus, and CDC tests did show the vials contained HIV, COVID, hepatitis, herpes, and malaria. Police arrested Zhu, and he's been in jail ever since. Congressional investigators linked the lab to the Chinese Communist Party, a tie that also suggests the same people are behind the Vegas lab.
What do we think these people were doing with those substances in the house? And I'll tell you, the truth is we don't know yet.
So House investigators say Zhu got financing from mainland China to create dozens of companies here and Canada. He employed mostly Chinese nationals to steal American intellectual property and transfer it to China. His trial begins in April. Sandra?
Wow, William Lajeunesse on all of that for us. Thank you, William. John?
Sandra, moments from now, a key hearing in the case against Charlie Kirk's accused killer as his defense team tries to keep video of the assassination off limits during his trial. Josh Ritter is live outside the courthouse.